When you buy the Samsung Galaxy A32 5G, what is your money actually getting you? Well, in this video, we're gonna find out. What's going on, guys? Kalipa's Tech here, coming back at you with another video. In this video, we're gonna be taking a look at the Samsung Galaxy A32 5G and going over what kind of value it provides in 2021. So let's get started. So this phone has a 6.5-inch TFT display with a resolution of 720p, a PPI of 270, an aspect ratio of 20:9, and a screen to body ratio of 81.6%. We got a water drop notch up here for the front facing camera, and this camera is 13 megapixels. I'm not a huge fan of water drop notches. I do wish that this camera was a hole punch camera because it gives a much cleaner and more modern look than a water drop notch. And since this phone is a 5G phone, I sort of expected a higher end look. I mean, it doesn't look bad, but the bezels are a little bit thick, especially for a newer generation Samsung Galaxy A series. Lots of the phones in this generation don't have bezels this thick. I do have the brightness set to 100% right now, and I would say it looks pretty decent, especially for a 720p display, but at the same time, considering that it is a 5G phone and that automatically gives me slightly higher expectations, I'm not too impressed. Since a lot of 5G phones have 1080p displays instead, the bar is already kind of set in my opinion, and as far as the display goes, this phone isn't quite there. For storage, this phone has 128 gigabytes of internal storage with microSD card expansion, so that aspect of the phone is really impressive. 128 gigabytes is definitely a lot of storage, and I've seen phones in this price range that have half this, so it's not bad at all. For the average user, you're not gonna ever have to worry about storage. If you don't do a whole lot with your phone, you probably won't even get close. And if you're more of a power user, then don't worry because this phone has plenty of space to put apps on. And if you shoot a lot of videos or something like that that still takes up a lot of space but is more media based, then you can definitely put that on a microSD card and that'll give you even more room. This phone does not have wireless charging, but it does have a fingerprint scanner and face unlock. The fingerprint scanner for this phone is located right here on the power key, and that's my favorite spot for a fingerprint scanner. It might not have the nice high-end look of an in-display fingerprint scanner, but it has a lot more practicality. Let's give it a try. There we go, and one more time. And there we go. So as you can see, this fingerprint scanner is really fast and reliable. It's probably faster than most in-display fingerprint scanners anyway, so you won't have any trouble unlocking your phone. And even if you don't like using fingerprint scanners, or maybe you're wearing a glove or something like that, then face unlock is also another great option. We got a quad camera setup on the back. It kind of looks like a triple camera setup, but then there's this one right here. It is an interesting looking design, I will give them that. We got a 48 megapixel rear camera here, an 8 megapixel ultra wide camera, a 2 megapixel depth sensing camera for portrait mode, and a 5 megapixel macro camera, so real good setup. Pretty much every feature that's available in smartphones today. There might not be a telephoto lens, but this is a mid-range phone. Are we really very surprised? I'm going to show you a photo taken with the rear camera of this phone to give you a better idea of what it can do. So this is a photo taken with the rear camera. As you can see, it looks really nice, as you would expect from a 48 megapixel rear camera. The colors look amazing, the sharpness is there, the lighting is perfectly balanced. There's really nothing wrong with this photo. So if you are looking to take really high quality photos, whether it's on a more casual basis, maybe you're taking lots of photos for social media, or you want really professional looking photos for a website or something like that, the Samsung Galaxy A32 5G is going to be able to deliver for you because this camera is really impressive. That is definitely one of the strong points of this phone. As far as video goes, this phone again has another great strength, being able to shoot in up to 4K in the rear camera and 1080p in the front if you want to get those nice 4K videos. the Samsung Galaxy A32 5G is definitely going to be able to do that for you. So it is a really good option. And as far as phones that can shoot video in 4K go, this is on the lower end of the price range, because most mid-range phones, I would say, that are under $300 aren't able to shoot video in 4K. So that is something to consider if you are into shooting really high quality videos on your phone and are on a little bit of a budget. Internally, this phone is getting 6 gigabytes of RAM with the MediaTek Dimensity 720 5G processor. I ran a Geekbench 5 benchmark test on this phone and it came back with a single core score of 472 and a multi-core score of 1520. This is not bad at all for a mid-range phone, but for a 5G phone, I honestly expected a little better. You're going to be able to do pretty much anything you need to on this phone, whether it's basic activities like browsing the web and going on social media, or maybe a little bit of gaming, or some video editing, something that takes up a little bit more processing power. But if you're trying to do high performance gaming like playing Fortnite or something, or editing a video with a really large file, this is probably not going to be the best device for that, because at this processing power, it's really similar to a lot of the other upper A series phones like the Samsung Galaxy A52 for example. And phones at this specific level are really good for most tasks, but when it comes to those more demanding high-end things, they do tend to struggle a little bit. One thing that I think is really impressive about this phone is the battery. This phone has a 5000 milliamp hour battery. This supports 15 watt fast charging, so it not only gives you lots of life per charge, but as far as longevity goes, down the road, batteries always do wear out a little bit, but this phone with such a large battery is gonna last a lot longer than a phone with a much smaller battery. So if you prefer to get a phone and keep it for a long time, this is gonna be a big benefit, because with a large battery, as it's degrading, you're not gonna notice it at first. So you won't have to replace the phone as soon as you would with a phone that has a small battery. As far as software goes, this phone is currently on Android 11, which is expected for a new phone. It also has NFC, so if you use Samsung Pay or Google Pay or something like that, this is going to be good because NFC is necessary for those services. Now in conclusion, is the Samsung Galaxy A32 5G worth buying in 2021? Well, I definitely think so. It might not be very impressive as far as the display goes, so if you're doing some serious content consumption, if you're streaming videos constantly, or you want to view photos in higher resolutions, maybe photo editing or something like that, that would benefit from a really high quality display, this is probably not going to be the device for you. Not that it's really that bad, but you can definitely do better in that department. But if you're looking for a phone that has a really powerful camera, they can take high quality photos and shoot really nice videos, one that has a lot of storage for a bunch of apps or a bunch of photos and videos, a decently powerful processor, and a really large battery that can support fast charging, then the Samsung Galaxy A32 5G is going to provide a lot of value for your money. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you found this information useful as well. If you did, be sure to leave a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.